Thank you, guys. That looked delicious. But from the kitchen, we are talking some doggy matters right now. We're joined by Auntie Minna, the lovely Auntie Minna, and our two adorable pups, Bob and Bella. And it's all about how to use the sense of touch this morning to train your top dog at home. Auntie, very nice to have you.
Thank
and I
you.
wonder who's the top dog when it comes to me and Bob. What would you say?
Bob's on top.
Bob's on top, always, you know. It's easy. He doesn't want to sit next to you.
Literally.
He doesn't want to sit next to you. He wants to sit on your lap, no matter what you do. Anyway, so we're talking about the sense of touch and how to train your top dog. But I think let's first talk about the notion of top dog. What exactly does that mean?
It refers to the dog that is actually in charge, just naturally taking leadership position.
So literally the top dog.
Yeah, literally. If in a competition, for example, you'll get top dog referred to the person that you're expecting to win or the team. And you'll get underdog for the team or the person that you're not expecting them to do too well. And that's almost like a shorthand for the hierarchy, the dominance hierarchy of the dog world. How they establish who's top dog, not only amongst themselves, but human beings as well.
So let's listen carefully.
We were chatting last week about the sensory hairs all over their body.
Yes.
And particularly around the facial area with the whiskers, where they can actually sense or touch the energy field around certain objects and around them. So they can sense in that way whether we are weak, strong, fearful. All of these, anything other than calm and strong is perceived by a dog as weak.
Wow, okay.
You will not be top dog unless you are displaying calmness and a sense of ownership and a sense of just being and sort of taking control of your life and your world.
That's very important for all pet owners to know as to how to manage their pack of dogs at home. So exactly what are your tips, you know, to manage that besides being calm and confident when it comes to your pets?
Well, understanding touch will help you, for example, in training, aside from where your headspace should be. If you have a look at collars and leashes, we use them quite often in training. Okay. If you pop a collar, a leash onto the collar, and it's normally there as we normally work it. Now, the neck is actually the least sensitive part of a dog. What is far more sensitive is the high up here.
Just behind the ears.
So just behind the ears. You'll often see people in breed shows, walking around with the lead right up at the top, holding the leash ever so tight and prancing around. That's because that is a lot more sensitive than down here. So when you're training a dog or using a collar and leash, you might want to just make sure it is high up, because you'll get a lot more response from it being up there. If we, for example, we've asked a dog to sit or down or do something, and we've petted it and stroked it, they like that. So that would encourage a repeat performance of whatever it is they did correctly. Treats are a great asset as well, okay?
But it's not the only thing that you can use.
Not the only thing, So petting definitely helps. And that is, I think, why it is so important to understand the value of touch, because it all leads up to when you're finally owning a dog and trying to train it. The value of touch in puppy, that's where you want to start establishing it, because if a dog doesn't like being touched,
how do you handle that? Because you get those dogs that's kind of, what we call it, hand shy.
Yeah, touch sensitive.
Yeah, touch sensitive. How do, it's for people maybe who owns dog like that, how will they manage that particular dog?
It is a slow process, and you've got to believe in what you do, because it's the only way that you'll keep going, because it feels at the time when you're working with that I'm not getting anywhere, but you just have to persevere. Essentially, any problem with a dog, you need to change the dog's perception of what is happening and reassociate that action to a good thing. So in this instance, what you would be doing is you'd be, for example, a very light touch treat.
I see.
Light touch treat, until eventually you're able to totally stroke the dog and treat. You've changed its association. Previously, the association of a hand coming down might have been a bad one. You're welcome. A bad one where you have to change that perception, or it simply hasn't happened, so
Yes.
he doesn't understand this fast move. This is
I
prey,
see.
part of prey stuff. I mean, if something comes at you quickly, it's, oh!
It's
If
you've
you're
got
not
that
used to it.
reflex,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a reflex thing, totally.
Yes.
So you want to get used to puppies right from the start
Okay.
being touched and as a...
That's brilliant.
And touch is so important.
And once
in
they
a dog's
establish the
life.
whole touch and that, it's a good thing. I mean, your
Yes.
training will become that much easier. And I think it's most important to also work with rescue dogs, specifically slow in the beginning, because they might be
Absolutely,
touch
absolutely.
sensitive. Great.
Touch is the whole center of a dog's well-being.
Yes.
And if you don't have a sense of well-being, even as a human being, you are in trouble.
Great. Thank you so much, Auntie, for coming through. So spend some time, touch your puppies. You can see Bob and Bella's loved quite a bit. We touch them all the time, don't we?
Yes.
Just love them. So
Fondle.
from myself and our top dog, we're going to see you guys after the break. Stay tuned.
Catlejo's got nothing on Bob. Bobtail, SA's most loved dog food for strong South African dogs.